Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about a recent bill that has been passed in the US House of Representatives, which basically imposes sanctions on the ICC, that is International Criminal Court. So in this video, we will try to analyze that what does basically the passage of this bill means, especially for the people related to the ICC, working in the ICC, and overall the court itself. Now, to give you the brief background of this particular topic, recently the US House of Representatives voted 243 to 140 to impose sanctions on the ICC. 243-140 means simply 243 members voted in favor of the bill, while 140 members have voted as opposed to this bill. Now, the reason behind the sanctioning was due to the alleged war crimes which the court believes has been committed by the Benjamin Netanyahu after he launched a campaign in Gaza where it is alleged that many civilians have become casualty of Israeli airstrikes, bombardments and all that. So his act has been amounted to war crimes, and the ICC has the power to investigate the cases of war crime, and on that basis it has issued an arrest warrant for the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu. Now, interestingly, we know that in US we have two parties. One is the Democrats, other is the Republican. So here, not only the Republicans, all the 198 Republicans, and apart from that, 45 Democrats also joined hand with the Republican members to vote for the legislation, and no Republican votes against it. That means all the Republican members have voted for the bill, plus 45 members of Democratic Party also have voted for the bill. In next stage, the bill will be sent to the Senate, where Republicans enjoy a majority, and it is believed that the bill will be passed from that house as well. And finally, after Donald Trump takes oath of the office of presidency, he will be the one signing of the bill. The bill will be finalized, and then actions like sanctions can be taken. Now, the particular bill that has been passed, once it come into action, it will become Illegitimate Court Counteraction Act. That is the name of the bill. And the main function or objective of this bill is to sanction any foreign national. Now, very interesting, you have to understand, the bill does not apply to US citizens. It applies only to the foreign nationals who investigates, arrests, detains, or prosecute US citizens or citizens of allied countries. So that is how we can understand the kind of broad nature of this bill. That bill not only covers the American citizens, but also covers the citizens of the allied countries. Allied countries, we know there is no clear definition or list where US maintains its allied countries, but it is based on the overall bilateral relationship. And we know that US and Israel for many years, actually from the time of the what we can say 1940s, 1950s itself, Israel has been its strong ally, or US has been a strong supporter of Israel's cause, including Israel, who are not members of the ICC. That means many countries are there who are member of ICC, while many countries are not the member. The member list will try to understand also later. Now, if you look at the ICC, International Criminal Court, the court was established somewhere in the year 1998 by a treaty called as Rome Statute, because the treaty was signed in the Rome, which is the capital of the Italy. As per this particular Rome Statute, the major aim and objective with which the court was designed were to investigate, and after investigation, wherever required, warranted, the individuals can be charged with the gravest crimes of concern to the international community. And overall, 4 major type of crimes are largely investigated, and on the basis of that, arrest warrant is issued. For example, first is the genocide. Genocide specifically refer to targeting or selecting a particular group of people who belong to a certain ethnicity, certain races, and then trying to kill them in large numbers. For example, in the case of Rwanda in 1990s, we have the Rwandan genocide that has targeted a particular tribal community. Second is the war crimes. War crimes is largely conducted by the head of the state or the people who are in the power in a particular country. For example, as we have discussed, Benjamin Netanyahu. Before that, also investigation was made on the Myanmar's military general a few weeks back. Before that, President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, has been charged about this. So war crimes generally refer to such actions that has been taken in the war, where the target is not the military infrastructure, but the target is the civilian population as well as civilian infrastructure such as hospitals, schools, and any such places where large number of innocent civilians can gather. Third is the crime against humanity, that largely refers to use of such, we can say, weapons and all that might cause a large scale damage and death to the civilian population. And then we have the crimes of aggression. Crimes of aggression can be when a country launches an attack on other country, largely compromising its territorial integrity and sovereignty, and in the process killing and murdering lot of people. So that is the crimes of aggression. So these four crimes, if it is committed by any individual, then ICC has the power to investigate and then take action according to this. Now, because of the arrest warrant issued by the ICC, the US has passed this bill. As a result of that, many UN, we can say, officers have urged the Senate of the US to not let the bill pass. And the reason behind this, because they have said, the statement has been given by the UN body, that it is very, very shocking to see that a country that considered itself the champion of the rule of law, obviously referring to the United States of America, is trying to stymie the actions of an independent and impartial tribunal. Why independent and impartial? Because the tribunal is not directly working under any particular country. There is a member, or the officers and the members of this ICC belong to several countries, more than, we can say, 50 nationalities, set up by the international community to thwart accountability. Because if the action or the sanction is imposed on ICC, the accountability that the individuals have, that will also something that can be compromised. Not only that, they have said the threat against the ICC promote a culture of impunity, because tomorrow no one will be scared or no one will be worried of any action if he is doing or involving in such crimes, as we have discussed before, the four type of crimes. And they make a mockery of the decades-long quest to place law above the force and atrocity. So these are the statements that has been given by the United Nations organization, talking about the recent decisions of the US House. Now, before going further in the particular topic, if you take a look at this particular world map, you will see the countries and how they are associated with the International Criminal Court. For example, since the country we are talking about right now is the United States, and the other country that we are talking about. So if you look at the United States, US has been involved in the negotiation which has led to development of ICC, but it has voted against the Rome Statute. Similarly, if we talk about India, so India has neither signed nor ratified the Rome Statute. So neither US, and also we talk about the Israel here, nor Israel, we can say, is the party of the Rome Statute, and that is why the law will be applicable over these countries. Now, if you look at the ICC's jurisdiction, it basically is to prosecute, as we have discussed, the four type of cases, and the heinous offences only when a country's own legal machinery fails to act, as the case in former Yugoslavia and Rwanda. I told you just few minutes back that in Rwanda, ethnic genocide was carried out, and the Rwandan judicial system itself failed to take any appropriate action, and that is why the ICC has to step in. And same was the case of the former Yugoslavia, which disintegrated in further many countries such as Croatia, Slovenia, Albania, Bosnia, and all that. So in both these cases, ICC stepped in. Second, it is limited to only those offences which has occurred or have been committed after it came into effect on July 1, 2002. That means any act done before this particular time period, ICC cannot interfere. Additionally, third point that it mentions is the offences should be committed either in a country that has ratified the agreement or by a national of a ratifying country. For example, if you take India, if an offense has been committed by India, the ICC will not have any jurisdiction over these cases. And last, the ICC can also practice its jurisdiction over cases referred by the United Nations Security Council. That means in those cases, in those areas where ICC do not have direct jurisdiction, it can be given the power to investigate and take action by the extension of United Nations or UN Security Council. Now the question comes that let us suppose that ICC has investigated a particular case and has found a particular individual to be guilty. So how it can then enforce its verdict or decision? Now we know that ICC is a judicial institution only. It does not have any kind of a standing military force or army that can enforce its decision. And that is where the cooperative mechanism or cooperation mechanism come into picture, because it relies on cooperation with countries worldwide for support. Let us say the Myanmar general on which the arrest warrant has been issued. Now obviously ICC does not have police that can go and arrest him. But the countries which are party of ICC, let us suppose that Switzerland, if the Myanmar general just in case visited Switzerland, the Swiss government can use its police forces to arrest him, and then action can be taken against him. So that is how cooperation is the basis of the functioning or the implementation enforcement of ICC's decision. While not a UN organization, the court has cooperation agreement with the UN as well. The case in point we have discussed about in the United Nations Security Council. So when a situation emerges which is not directly within the court's jurisdiction, UNSC can refer the situation to the ICC, granting its jurisdiction. And in past, two such cases are there where we have seen it. For example, in the case of Darfur, Sudan, and second was in the case of Libya. In both these cases, it was due to the extension of UNSC, ICC was able to take action. Now, this is not for the first time that the US has imposed sanction on the ICC. This also has happened during the first term of the President Donald Trump, where he imposed sanction on ICC. The reason is because ICC began to investigate into the war crimes that were committed by Afghanistan and and also it began to look into the allegations of torture that was levied upon on the US citizens. So as a response of this, Donald Trump has sanctioned the ICC. Later on, when the Joe Biden became the next president, those sanctions were lifted. But last year, the US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has clearly stated that in context of the imposition or reimposition of sanction on the ICC, the Biden administration is willing to work with Congress, and it can potentially reimpose those sanctions over the prosecutor's request for arrest warrant for Israeli leaders. So Joe Biden administration was also open to it. However, the bill now has been passed. The question that might come into mind is what is going to be the possible impact if the sanction is imposed by US on ICC. So in the first case, when the sanctions were imposed, the ICC officials were targeted and they had to face a lot of problem. For example, then ICC Prosecutor General Fatou Bensouda, her credit cards and bank accounts were frozen, and her US travel was also impeded as she was not allowed to travel to the United States. The problem here is that if this bill is passed and then the sanction is imposed on the basis of this bill, its implication can be further wide reaching. For example, the bill is very broad based in nature, and it does not only specifically target the officials of ICC, it also targets those individuals who are assisting the work of the court. So many people might get impacted over the entire world due to this sanctioning. And though recently ICC has not given a particular statement regarding the pass of the bill, but in this context, in the month of December, the ICC President Judge Tomoko Akane has said that if indeed such decisions are taken by the United States, it could severely undermine the court's operation, because many people will not want to cooperate. Many countries would even not want to cooperate with the ICC because they might face a trouble if sanctions are imposed on them. And this ultimately can even threaten the entire existence of this international body, that is International Criminal Court. So we'll have to wait and watch and see that how exactly this entire thing plays out in the future. However, if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such helpful content. That is all for this particular video. Thank you very much.